Hi, I'd like to talk you through how to generate a simple conceptual mass and from that generate a floor schedule. This is something that is a bane of architect's life. In initial concept for a building, tallying floor areas day in, day out until things settle down is very laborious. Revit makes this very, very easy. So we'll start off with a new conceptual mass and use the only template that's available, metric mass.rft. Okay, what I'm going to do is set a level 60 meters above this. So let's make a multi-story building with simple forms, but eventually with kind of complex areas. So I'm going to hold control and drag this level upwards, and I'm going to put this at 60 meters. So 60,000 for the level. Okay, I'm also going to drag out one of these reference planes as well. So shift control and drag. The shift locks it in line so it doesn't deviate. So I'm just going to pull that out here. I'm going to use that later on. Doesn't matter about the distance for that, but maybe I'll just put that 40,000 away. Okay, now I'll look down on we want to work on the ground plane first. We'll create a shape on the ground, and so I've set the working plane and then click top and we'll look straight down. Okay, so I know I'm working on the ground because I set the plane first. So I'm going to get my ellipse drawing tool, start the ellipse right at the middle, and I'm just going to go this way 20,000. Should have clicked again. Okay, and I'm going to go this way 10,000. Okay, I'm going to go back to my 3D view because I want to change to the level above. Okay, so I click on my topmost level now, and let's have a different shape so we get this kind of transition from ellipse to a square. So I've set my work plane, go to the top view, and we'll draw a square now, a rectangle. So get your rectangle drawing tool, and I'm going to start in the middle. Well, actually I can start at this intersection here because I've got a quadrant point, and I'm going to drag that out. Okay, and I'm going to make this 20 by 20. Okay, so I've got two shapes. Back to modify, click on my standard 3D view. Okay, it keeps zooming to the off to the side. So I've got two shapes now that I can create a solid from. So you just click one of the shapes, hold control, click the other. When you do that, the create form button appears, and I want to create a solid form from this. Okay, so it joins the two shapes together in the only way it can. Okay, so that's a form ready to export to a standard project. Okay, we haven't got a project open yet, so we need to create a new one. I'm just going to reduce the size of the viewport there. Okay, just so I can tile these later on. So I'll just keep that just hidden down there. So go to the big letter R, and I want a new project. I'll use an architectural project because that's where the floor scheduling facilities are. So okay, and let's reduce that so we can see what we've got on screen. Okay, so there's a kind of plan view on level 0, so that would be the very ground floor. What I need to see though is the side view, so I can add some more levels which will then get turned into mass floors. So click on the plus sign at elevations, and let's use the south elevation for this. Okay, so kind of maximize these. Okay, I'm going to take both level markers and I'm going to make them much bigger because the form that's going to come in is pretty big. It's 40,000 across at the base, so we need these level markers to be a bit bigger to help deal with that. Okay, so let's drag them out. I can reduce them in size again later on. Okay, so I'm gonna say my floor to floor height is just 3,000. That's a bit mean for a multi-story building, but just for example. Okay, there's my warning that I don't have a valid version of Windows, which is a complete lie. It is. It's one of these annoying pop-ups that you stumble across on the internet.
No, I'm gonna ask him.
Okay, sorry about that. Young son interrupts recording. Okay, so I want to create additional levels now. So I click on my level 1. Okay, and I'm going to array level 1. Now activate the array button, but don't finish the command just yet. Okay, we need to set a few things up here. So it's already missing the tick here at group and associate. Keep that unticked. Okay, keep that unticked, and I want 20 markers including this one. Okay, so in the end I'm actually going to have 21 level markers because level 0 is already there. Okay, and now if I go on to the datum line there, drag upwards, and I want them all to be spaced at 3000. So I just move up to 3000, click again, that creates all the levels. Okay, now notice the two original ones were blue, so there's a layout for each of these, there's a plan for these, but there isn't a plan for the rest. At this stage it would be a bit wasteful making a plan for every one. But let's create one for level 19 so that we can make sure that the shape has kind of changed all the way up. So to do that, you go to View, and looking for this icon, a bit shrunk here because of my Camtasia screen capture, and so it's Plan Views. I want a new floor plan of level 19, and OK. Okay, there's nothing there yet. That's not a problem. So what I'll do is I'll tile these windows now, so we can see all of them. So I've got my mass, my conceptual mass here, and then I've got my floor plans at level 19 and level 0, and my elevations, my north elevation. So we've got nothing in these at the moment because this needs loaded into the project. So I activate the conceptual mass window there and load it into the project. Okay, it's telling me that for my benefit I'm going to let you see this mass, which is quite nice of it. Okay, so close that, and it's looking for me to place the mass in the level 0 plan. Okay, so just generally in the middle there, and then it's generated my elevation and the plan at level 19. So just press escape to stop that. Now these levels, these elevation markers are a bit big. So what I did there, I just did Windows Cascade, just increases the size of the windows a bit. So I'm just going to put my elevation markers, if I can get to this one, a bit tricky. Let's try that again. Gotcha. Okay, just move them outside. He's outside already. Okay, gotcha. Okay, just put those outside. I can minimize the conceptual mass just now. The grid lines here, a bit long at this side, so let's just bring them back in a bit closer to the building, make it a bit easier to deal with. And the markers are automatically adjusted here. Okay, so this is the plan near the very top of the building where we're just about to, it's just about to become fully square. So we're just one level down from the top. Okay, you can see that on this view. Okay, it's just about to become square. So this is level 19 where the other plan is. Okay, now what would be useful if I had my 3D view as well here. Okay, I'll double click my 3D view. Okay, and now I want to generate the mass floors for this form. So you just click on the solid. Okay, and then on the massing and site menu, I'm wanting to generate the mass floors. So I want to show the mass form and floors for this object. Now this is the tricky one. Come back, massing of floors. Okay, there it is. Sorry, the button was there all along. Just missed it. So these icons get shrunk because of the screen capture. Okay, so mass floors for that form, and it's saying which floors do you want. You could miss some if you want to, but I don't want to miss any, so I'll take all of these and add the tick in there, and OK. Okay, now I'm not getting a mass floor for the very top, just because the building isn't quite tall enough. It's exactly on there, so I'm not getting a floor for level 20. So what I could do is just slightly tweak the conceptual mass. So what I'm needing to do is move this up just a tiny bit. So let's maybe make it 61 meters. Okay, 61,000. Okay, I need to reload it back into the project. Okay, and then keep your eye on that window and this one. Okay, so we should see an additional floor appear when we reload it. So load into project, overwrite the existing version. Okay, and there's my floor 20, and the building just a tiny bit taller. So then I'd be able to work out, the area at the very top of the building. Okay, keep that. I'm just going to minimize it. Got maybe a bit too much going on here, so let's tile those windows that are open. And all I'm wanting to do now really is just generate a schedule for this form. So a floor schedule, very laborious, going from ellipses, which are difficult to work out the area of anyway, translating from an ellipse up to a square. So every floor, different shape, a real nightmare to keep the tabs on the levels there, on the areas. But dead easy. What we do is we just go to, I forgot where we go to now. Is it View? Yeah, there we go. View, Schedules. We want to schedule or list of quantities. Okay, I'm looking for the mass floor type of schedule. So mass floor, double click. Okay, you then want to have some fields in the schedule. So this is the categories. So go for level first. You need to get these in the right order or your table will look a bit awkward. So double click level. I'm going to put the perimeter in the middle and the floor areas in the right hand column. Okay, miss out filter, go to sorting and grouping tab, sort by the level and add the grand totals. Okay, go to formatting next. We don't need to format the level field, but the floor perimeter, let's have its total calculated, and the floor area, let's have that calculated as well, total calculated. Okay, should be just a case of clicking OK now, and there's my schedule of areas. Okay, so that could be version 1 of the building. Let's say the client decided he wanted to make this a bit more sculptural and take a chunk out of the side. So what I would do there is probably save that as version 1. Okay, so then I can create version 2 quite easily. Let's not bother with the saving. Let's just go back to the conceptual mass and add. Well, we're going to create a void form in this. Okay, so I'm back at the conceptual mass, and what I'm trying to do is create a void form in the side of the mass, which we can subtract and then adjust the floor schedule automatically. So I'm going to activate this work plane and go to the front view and hopefully draw something reasonably simple like an ellipse. Okay, let's make it fairly vertical and not too broad. Okay, then I want to move that place it onto the model. Let's have a look in 3D. Okay, so from that shape I want to create a void form that's going to cut through this direction. So create form, a void form, and I want to make it deep enough to cut through the object. Okay, it's not automatically cutting here. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to click off and use the cut command. I want to cut this object with this one. So we've cut it out. It looks a bit like a bottle opener now. So let's see what happens if I tile all these windows. So that's the new shape, that's the previous shape, and we've got the floor schedule here. You can see the areas. So what should happen if I reload this back into this project is that the floor areas all adjust accordingly. So say that was version 1 that I'd saved, I could now reload this back into the project, overwrite the existing version, this changes, the table changes, everything else is modified to be the new one. So this could be version 2. Okay, it's really nice feature of the software, extremely useful for architects.